This song that she is singing is featured in my second book. So when you read my book, you will see it. And I'm not going to give the plot away and why it's in it, but we got an appetizer. What's it called? Some kind of cheese spread. I can't remember what kind, but it's good. It's a little spicy. It's a little spicy, isn't it?
No, I like it.
But it's a little spicy. Does it have a little spice to it?
No.
I think it does. But I got this. Yeah, I got a mimosa. Alright, our food arrived. I got shrimp and grits. And then of course we still have a bunch of our appetizers. Kurt got chicken parm. I don't know what that's on. What is that? It's not pasta.
Some kind of crap.
Is it potatoes?
Probably.
I guess we'll see. It looks good.
Chinese hummus.
We're in Jasper, Georgia. We just finished eating. I haven't been here in years. I remember when the girls were little, we came up here in the fall. I think we were looking for a place to pick apples or something. But we haven't been back. But if you're ever in Jasper, you need to eat at this place. It's called the Old Mule House. There's the sign right there. It was really, really good. We came upon this just bam out of the blue.
I missed it.
I mean, we didn't. Okay. Golf course over here. And then right across the street.
In 1 mile, turn right to I-75 north.
We're on our next stop now.
Yeah, well, we're done with our first stop. We're going to our second one. Look at this sign.
You found it.
Yep. It is the Trail of Tears, the original route of the Trail of Tears. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I think it's New Echota. At least that's what I've heard. So that's where we're going today. New Echota Historic Site. If we ever get there, they have one of the entrances blocked, so we got to go around. We're going around the world here.
No, I missed the turn. You can
No,
say
you
it.
didn't.
Yes, I did.
It was
just,
closed.
Like, came up on us.
Yeah, but it was closed.
Yeah, the second one was closed.
Yeah, but this is where, and there's another sign right there.
Original route, 17.5
5 miles. But and then this one is written in Cherokee. So we're coming back the other direction.
New Echota.
I have been
Historic
wanting to come
Site.
here for years and I've never been.
Well, guess what?
We're here.
We're here.
Here's the sign as we pull in. They're only open till 5 today. And it's almost 2, but I think we can do that in 3 hours, don't you? New Echota Ferry. Okay. Yeah, this is a place that I've been wanting to go for years and years. So, we're here. We're going to check it out. I'm not going to read the whole thing. But here's the sign as you walk in. They had a very advanced culture before the Trail of Tears. I mean, they had their own government and everything, and they were pretty much thriving in this area. If you want to read it, you can pause it here. Some people may not know this, but the Cherokee, I believe, if I'm correct, is the only Native American group that had their own written language. Sequoia, I'm not sure if there's anything in here about that, but anyway. This was found during an archaeological dig during the 1950s. Yeah, they had their own written language, and they had printing presses with the language. We just watched a video. And they were saying that years later, very little was left. Check this out. This is showing how they were rebuilding. Oh, look at that. That's interesting. We're going to see some of these buildings in a little while when we go outside. Right now we're inside the museum. This just shows some interesting things when they were doing the archaeological dig. I think those things right there were some of the things we saw out in the museum a little while ago. This is during the 1950s. Video. Go ahead and do some. We have some examples here of the way certain words sound. Okay, that was tree. So do that again.
Tree.
Okay.
Corn. Shalu.
John Wayne.
Quail. Quail.
Okay.
Cherokee. Salaki. Pine. Nothing. Water. Ama. Beaver. Doyi.
Goody.
Do the other two. Or the other one.
Bread. Garden.
So the emphasis is on the second syllable?
No, first symbol. I don't know.
No. Do Cherokee again.
Cherokee. Salaki.
So it sounds like the emphasis is the emphasis always on the last syllable?
Tree. Sukai.
No, it's in the middle. Okay.
Corn. Shalu.
Huh.
Quail. Quail.
This is John Ross, I believe. This talks about how Georgia pretty much took over the land. And then this was part of their doom right here. Finding gold in Dahlonega. We just watched a video about all this. Okay, right here. I believe when I was doing ancestry, I do believe one of my ancestors participated in this and got a plot of land. I am not sure. There's not proof yet definitive, but it's a possibility. Wow, we can't even find the top of that. That's way up there.
This is interesting.
Mm-hmm. It was way different around here than, of course, than it is now. And here's the. Yeah, there were two routes, I believe. If you look at that, there were two.
All right, this is the map that we're going to be walking on.
I'm going to fold it this way.
And this is kind of an overview of what we're doing. very peaceful here.
It really is. Wow. It is quiet except for the road out there. But even it's not bad.
Yeah, and there's a golf course across the street.
Yeah, that's crazy. There's a golf course across the street. All right, so right here. All right, and we came out here. So we're going through this little section right here. These buildings right here.
Yep.
There should be 4 buildings right there. That's it says it's middle-class Cherokee farmstead. By 1820, log cabins were the standard Cherokee dwelling houses. It says the 4 buildings on this site were constructed in the early to mid 1800s and include a dwelling house, corn crib, smokehouse, and barn. They were moved to this location to represent an upper middle class Cherokee farmstead typical of New Echota's residents. The barn, corn crib, and smokehouse were relocated here from Tennessee, and the cabin was relocated from another location in Gordon County, Georgia. A funny thing is, both Curt and I thought that in our ancestry, we had some Cherokee in our background, but neither one of us does.
I didn't know about Cherokee, but I just thought Native
I thought
American.
you said Cherokee. Well, see,
I just said that to you.
What?
I think I just said that. To
I
get your goatee
assumed.
woatee.
Okay, I assumed that we had some Cherokee because my mother actually has has the features. She has dark hair.
Yeah, she really
dark
does.
eyes.
Yeah.
She looked it. And as I was doing Ancestry years ago, I found an article in the newspaper about a man in my mother's lineage somewhere. It was, I don't know whether it was his obituary or something, and it said that he passed himself off as white, but he was actually Cherokee. But when we did our Ancestry DNA, there was no Cherokee, no Native American in our background at all.
I love
So-
this stuff.
Somebody lied.
This is the roof. Wonder how
So
they
this
got
would be
the animals
considered,
to come
you
over
know, a
that.
middle class dwelling.
Oh, this is the barn.
This dwelling, the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
See, like, they would have lived in that house. This would have been the barn, you know, so this would have been their acre of land
There's the
that
Tesla.
they lived on.
There's the Tesla right there.
Tesla of the time, right?
No gas?
No gas. Oh, look at all the little holes in this wood.
Yeah, those are worms.
Worms.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep, little bitty worms.
Oh, goodness.
They get in there and lay eggs.
Lovely.
Yeah, this is cool. It's very, like, not hot. There's a yoke.
One of these would be the smokehouse,
That would be the smokehouse, I would think.
and the other one would be the corn crib.
Yeah.
I don't know where I've been before, but I have seen a smokehouse. A lot of these.
I think this is from my recollection, this would be the corn crib. But just from what I've seen before, you know, you don't need to look in here.
You can read. So if we were doing a census like they did back in the early 1800s, you would check can read, can write, right? I've been looking at a lot of the census, and that's one of the questions, because a lot of the people back then couldn't read and write, so somebody had to do it for them. And that's half of the reason that I can't find a lot of people, because they misspelled their last names.
Smoking house.
So this would be the smokehouse.
Yeah, because I've seen these before, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Where's the sign for it?
Why don't you just rely on my
Because
basic, you know, superior logical
Because
informational
I've met
thing?
you before.
I'm not an idiot, you know.
Nobody said you were.
I've been around. And
All right.
around and around. Nice mask.
Yeah, well, we're out here. Nobody else is around.
Why do I still have mine on?
That's your choice.
Can we go in here?
I don't know.
We'll go up there and see. Oh, yeah, you can get in over here. Oh man, this is the prison.
They don't want you in there.
Got bars on the windows.
No, they don't want you in there.
Ow, wow, look at that
Good
lock.
grief, that's a big step up.
Look at that lock.
Oh.
It's like brass. I think this is the Cherokee dwelling house.
I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
It's actually a pretty good size.
Yeah, I think it's a dwelling house though.
But look at it, it's a pretty good sized building.
This camera is really good. It looks a lot darker in here than the camera is actually coming through with.
I keep waiting, I'm gonna drop my mask in here. Look, they even had electricity.
Wait till you see this video. Look at this.
Wow.
It does not look this
yeah,
light.
the camera is really good.
Lee got a new phone.
This is nice.
Yeah, it is.
This
I'm
is
gonna go
bigger
take
than my first apartment.
But yeah, this looks like a dwelling house to me.
It's cool in here too. Did you feel the difference in the?
Yeah.
How cool! That is amazing. How cool it is. Wow. Oh my gosh.
Oh, I didn't see the spinning wheel.
Please, this
I have a
is-
rocking chair just like that.
I don't know. This is middle class. I don't know what my family would have been like in.
My grandma had a chair
early
like that. It's
1800s.
out of
Yeah,
cherry
yeah.
wood.
Oh, okay. With this?
Mhm.
Okay, a town that disappeared. What you don't see. By the late 1800s, the town of Echota had ceased to exist. All of the buildings, except for the Wooster. Is that how they pronounced it? Wooster?
Well, if you were in Michigan, Boston, I would say yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Had been destroyed. Even the trees that once shaded the town had been cut and the area cleared for farming. Okay. Alrighty. We have John Walker Candy House. Hey, John Candy. His family lived here. John F. Wheeler House. Wonder if they're related to Kathleen. John A. Bell, Joseph M. Lynch. Yeah. And Daniel McCoy's store. All right, Curt said this is a great tree. Man, it is so cool out here. I mean temperature.
Cooler in the shade than it is in the sun.
Yeah, it really is amazing how cool it is. All right, we're moving. Are you doing yet?
Okay, this is Town Street.
Yeah, it was. We're moving toward town center in this building up here.
But this, it appeals to me like it's in, Town Street, because in November of 1825 is recollection,
Yeah. Okay.
comes back to me that in 1825 the Cherokee Council passed a resolution naming the new Echota the national capital of the Cherokee Nation. In February, I think I'm remembering this right, in 1826,
In your past life.
Cherokee survivors divided their new capital into a series of streets and 100 more 1-acre lots. And I feel like I'm standing alongside one of those streets.
Oh God, help me.
Bite me, woman.
Let's see, a town consisting of about 10 dwelling houses, 4 stores, 3 government buildings, and 25 outbuildings, such as corn cribs and stables, would have been visible from this location.
Wow, check
So-
this out. This is where they had their first council meeting.
So if we stood here,
Where people
all
would
of those
sit.
things that I just said would be visible.
Sit on both sides.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was wondering how they got all those people in that little
yeah,
house.
really.
There's the house, it looks like, that they recreated.
Recreation, of course, not the real thing. A lot of reading. And all these pictures I've seen before. Like these, I have these in some book that I have at home.
And that is a recreation of the council house, right?
I think so.
Cool. Well, we can go in there. Wow, this is the council house. That's where the boss would stand.
You can go upstairs.
God, look at the fire extinguishers they have.
Wow, that's
Really
amazing.
cool. Man, look at those logs.
The Cherokee were very advanced during this time compared to a lot of the others. I mean, you think about it during this time, think about the Plains Indians, you know, they were still living in teepees in the late 1800s. And the Cherokee already had their own government in the early 1800s.
Yeah, with 3 different legislation branches.
Yeah.
Branch as, oh, my knee. Okay, it's just a duplicate of downstairs. That's weird.
So could you hear what was going on downstairs, or is this a separate meeting area for something different, or what?
I don't know. I can get a picture of the glass. Yeah, there we go. See how it's wavy? Okay, this is the Supreme Courthouse.
Beginning in October 1823, the Cherokee Supreme Court met annually to hear cases appealed from lower district courts. This building was reconstructed in 1960 according to descriptions of the original courthouse built at New Echota in 1829. The first floor served as a courtroom. No documentation of the use of the second floor has been established, but it's known that the building was used for both church and school when court was not in session.
I like the way they built this up.
We got a multi-purpose building. Oh, this looks comfortable. Not so much.
Not really.
No, I don't think I want to go upstairs here.
No, my knees won't take it.
Yeah. Amazing how much hotter this is than the house was.
Yeah.
And I think it's because of the low ceilings.
No, I think it was because of the how thick the wood was when they used the
Could be part
logs.
of it.
Yeah.
This is a common Cherokee farmstead. And it shows that John Rogers lived here in the 1830s. This is a common Cherokee home in the early 1800s. I don't know where the entrance is.
On the back side. Yeah, it is. Oh, a lizard.
Can you go in?
Yeah.
Oh, you can. You can go in. Well, let's not fall, please.
Crap.
I don't think I can carry you back. Wow, it's dark in here. Yeah, see, this is what I think that
Wow.
typical home is. Is there a loft?
Yes.
Cool.
Cool.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That's where the kids would sleep.
Uh-huh.
I'd have trouble with that one. You'd just be way too close to me in that bed.
You love it. You love it.
All right. Woo. I'm out.
All right, this is the what?
Wooster House.
Worcester House.
It's the only original building to survive at New Echota.
Although it's been restored.
Right. Constructed in 1828 by Reverend Samuel A. Wooster, it served as a Presbyterian mission station and also as the Wooster family home. Reverend Wooster and his family lived on the first floor. Oh, listen to this. It says, Wooster was innovative and built 3 closets into the house. Closets were rare in 19th century homes. Remember, they had things like chifforobe and things like that. How many times do I want to drop this thing?
Focus.
This is what I was telling you, that he built 3 closets into the house, and closets were rare in homes during this time. ahead of his time.
I'm curious about what's upstairs.
It doesn't say. I mean, I'm sure that, I mean, if you want to go up there, I'm not going up there.
Oh, cool. Hey, you need to come up here and see this.
Oh, just take a video, I'll see it.
No, it's really cool.
Okay.
That fireplace is massive.
Does it say up here what the second floor was used for?
It's bedrooms,
Oh, okay.
which is strange.
Well, here's the thing. A lot of times, these older houses like this,
Oh, wait a minute. Here's a placard over here.
you would have an entrance for the family, and then you would have an entrance like for guests or travelers that needed a place to stay.
I mean,
There's the possibility that people just wandered and slept up there.
that fireplace is massive.
I'm ready to go to the tavern.
They got a beer tavern?
Yeah.
I'm coming.
The next thing on our list is the band tavern. I'm ready to go.
Wave.
Where are you?
All right, I'm coming down. Okay, I'm videotaping now.
Okay, constructed in what is now Forsyth County, Georgia, along the Chattahoochee River. This structure is an original Cherokee tavern, built about 1805 by James Van, a wealthy Cherokee plantation owner. Van's home is now a state historic site in Spring Place, Georgia. That's what I was saying, we're not going to get to that today, we're not going to have enough time.
Mm-mm.
But I guess we could have come here, gotten ourselves some food. I probably couldn't have as a woman. I don't know. The Cherokee, though, were different when it came to women. They had women in power.
Oh, wow. That is a cool fireplace.
I mean,
Man's store.
so
I can't read it.
Van store. Oh wow, I don't know.
I'm gonna take a picture of it. Maybe
Something
it'll come out
$1,200 or $12.
good. Something 1800. I don't know.
That's $1,200. So this is original, but it was brought here. Let's see what we got.
All right. You hear that?
Remember, without decent road conditions, cars, buses, or Uber, travel was slow and arduous. During the 1800s, taverns typically dotted the landscape every 30 miles or so. 30 miles was a day's travel back then. Van's Tavern was once owned by James Van, a very savvy Cherokee entrepreneur. The tavern originally sat along the banks of the Chattahoochee River near the Beaufort Dam, Lake Lanier area, and it was the first Cherokee business travelers encountered when they took the old Federal Road out of frontier northwest Georgia, crossed the river on the ferry Van himself owned, and entered into the Cherokee Nation. Weary from the journey, a person could stop at the tavern, resupply themselves at the general store downstairs, and spend the night upstairs. There were no private accommodations. 5, 6, or even 7 strangers might share the one room. For 25 cents a night, travelers could get a bed, a meal for the night, and breakfast. But if you wanted clean sheets, that would cost you another 10 cents. Without washers and dryers,
Corona.
you can only imagine how clean the clean sheets were. So just imagine the used ones.
Corona.
Looking at the tavern, you will notice the 2 downstairs rooms. The room on the left was the innkeeper's residence. Although James Van owned the
That's
tavern,
where he lived.
did
Wow.
not run it. The room on the right was the general store. Inside
So the
was
first thing
items
that you
are
were
typical of the
looking at was
1800s,
like
such
a
as
residence.
tools and
That's where the
weapons.
innkeepers kept
The
staying.
actual prices were on the wall. Sugar and salt were in high demand and very expensive. That is because they were necessary to cure and preserve food. As you walk around the
Look at his
building,
iPad, Lee.
please make sure to notice the
I
square
know, it's
window
amazing.
without a
They had
shutter under the back
iPads. They
staircase.
wrote on it with
The
chalk. It was
sliding door
amazing.
was the drive-through back in the day. It was called the jug window because of the amount of whiskey that was sold and passed to
That
the
little
customer.
window.
A jug window was handy for customers who needed something after store hours.
There's a checkerboard thing on that
It was also a way of
keg.
keeping African American slaves out of the store. During this time, the Cherokee had adopted the racial prejudices that many of their white neighboring states had.
Look up at the ceiling out here.
I know, I saw it. The nails.
Yeah, I wouldn't throw your baby up too high.
Bang, Rachel.
Yeah, I was thinking. That's pretty sad.
Hand,
Friends up the
hand
road.
hewed logs. Cool.
Okay, as we go this way, that's the print shop. This should be really interesting to him.
But they didn't print like this.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
A little bit different. This building is actually a reconstruction of the 1828 print shop that's here at Echota. This building was built in 1960 when the park was first getting set up. It is based on the 1835 property records we have. We know how big it was. A lot of records between the Cherokee Nation and the missionaries who helped them get the printing operation going here. It was an operation for 6.5 years. Started in 1828 and it ran until 1834 into May when it was closed down. They were using a press very similar to this. This is a later 19th century press. It was very similar to what they would have been using. It was a weekly newspaper. Came out partially bilingual. Not everything was being done fully in both languages. The majority of each issue was usually done in English because it was just labor and time intensive work to translate everything, and then the target audience is also dictated. $3 a year for your subscription.
Wow.
Week newspaper.
Wow.
And of course they were working with individual pieces of lead type, and they would have had, more than twice the number because they were working with two languages.
At least.
Cherokee
Depending on the
This,
letters.
this particular system, the Cherokees has 86 characters, and so they was making $400 a year. The editor was making $400 a year, so a little more than $1 a day was their salary for that time period. And of course, this new Echota was definitely mostly upper middle class people.
I'm thinking that's a lot.
Yeah, that was the editor and the printer and the people running the ferry and the stores here.
So the people that were buying it could probably afford it,
Yeah.
even if that was considered a lot during that time.
You're right. And
To
a
me,
lot of
that
it,
sounds like a lot.
yeah, a lot of it was also being sent out gratis. And so he has a paper in Baltimore, Philadelphia, or whatever. He's sending me 3 copies of his, and I'm sending him 3 copies of the Phoenix so that he can, exchange. And a lot of information was being printed in here that wasn't just Cherokee oriented stuff. So there's poetry in here. There's ads for people building houses and stuff.
Now see, I've done a lot of reading, but I've learned something.
Are you still printing on this?
We are still printing on this. We've kind of cheated a little bit. They would have been using individual little pieces of type, like I'm showing here, how they would have had to how to compose the newspaper. And of course, it's a 4-page weekly paper. It would have taken days to set all this and get it all proofed and everything. It was a weekly paper, and it came out very consistently and pretty high quality of printing.
Means you had to work every day.
Oh yeah.
Every day.
They use what they call an inking ball. We know from John Wheeler, a printer who worked here with them, that it was covered with a piece of deer hide, and basically works as a sponge to absorb the ink from the ink stone, and then it's transferred to the type. Now this was ink once and press once, ink once and press once. You couldn't ink it up and press it, print 3 or 4 copies, not very well anyway. They get poor and poor quality each time.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily for the printers, even though the printing presses didn't change throughout the 19th century hardly at all, rollers did become available, so you can get your ink on there a little bit easier.
Yeah, that's what I remember.
Cherokee weren't using this, but it came along later years and gives you a little more even consistency in application, and of course a lot faster also. And then the printing part of it, we've got it set up to print basically just the front of one page, but they would have been printing page 1 and 4 at the same time.
And
Flip
2
it
and
over
3.
Afterwards, 100 copies or whatever, print 100 copies of 2 and 3 on the inside. But in between, somebody had to take the type off, wash it, sort it, put it back in the type cases, and they had page 2 and 3 ready to go to carry over here. So over and over and over. So over and over and over. This is the 1828 print shop. 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 This is the 18 this is actually a copy of volume 1, number 1, the very first front page ever printed here at New Echota,
That is
February the
dedication
21st,
right there.
1828.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Ran for about 6.5 years until it was closed down. Basically, Georgia was putting so much pressure on them. They were trying to get the press out of Georgia's boundaries up to Tennessee. It disappeared in history. We don't know where it ended up. So this is a souvenir you can take with you. A copy of what they would have been printing to each other. They were printing a lot of stuff here. Mostly everybody knows and has heard Cherokee Phoenix is the newspaper. But the council was having things printed here. The preachers were translating the New Testament of the Bible, and the Cherokee having it done in kind of like pamphlet serial form. The Moravian missionaries, which were up by Van House up in Chatsworth, 20 miles away, they had them printing stuff here. And so for our demonstration purposes, we've cheated. This is one
Yeah,
plate
that's
been
a-
cast.
yeah. That's
they
a
would be
forward
working
piece.
with individual little pieces of type here.
Okay, here we go. This is really our last stop.
Okay, there's the well. So that was the kitchen.
Oh, okay, so that's the kitchen. I knew that. Looking at this picture,
There's
no
the
way.
cornerstones.
Okay, so this is Elias Boudinot was a leading Cherokee of the 20s and 30s, 20s and 30s. He served as the first editor of the Cherokee Phoenix and also translated and published many religious tracts, books, and pamphlets into Cherokee.
Man, we're getting a big old glare. Wow, this is really nice. Hold on.
There's a plaque on this side that's different. It's
Oh, I
got
know.
sequoia. Okay, so we got 2 flags here too. Okay.
3,
I'll hold that a minute.
4.
Huh?
4 flags.
This is the flag of the Eastern Band of Cherokee, the Cherokee Nation.
This is the
That
band
one
of
is the
Oklahoma
Cherokee Nation of Oklahoma.
after the Trail of Tears.
United Kituwa Band of Cherokee.
Okay. That hurt.
Sorry. All right, well, we decided that we're going to try to drive by Chief Van House, even though we're not going to arrive until 4:55. It closes at 5. No biggie. Look at all that dust on there. That is terrible. You can really see that dust. I have some glass wipes I meant to bring and I forgot. We are how far away? 4 minutes?
2.3 miles, ma'am.
2.3
It's on the
miles.
left side.
No, it's on the right side. That's what Mrs. Ways said?
If you're going the opposite way, it's
No,
on the left side.
Mrs.
That's what I said.
Oh, okay.
Good grief.
And then all of a sudden we get to an intersection and then bam. It's like, there it is right there. Well, it's not here, but okay, there it is, right there. I mean, on the hill, right there. Interesting. They're probably going to kick us out because they do close at 5. So, I didn't want to really go in. Okay, just make a loop and we'll see what we can see. Okay, okay, you're going to need to go around a little, thank you. There it is. Yeah, it's interesting. I don't think I'd want to spend too much time here because we learned a little bit about it back there anyway. I guess this is the visitor center.
It says visitor center right there. Starts with a V.
Starts with a V.
Visitor.
And look, I mean, of course, now I'm seeing reflection. But like outbuildings, just like what we saw.
Now look at the back of it.
We just saw things like this over at the other place.
Yeah,
But all of this, of course, was his land.
very interesting.
Everything within your eyesight. There. I'm going to try to get a good picture. Move it just a little bit more, so we're like right in the center. Keep going. Okay, go up here. So anybody behind us?
No?